Hello guys, and welcome to a quick video for a Noobs Guide to TribalWars. I say quick, but it might take about 10 minutes. This chapter is all about how to win a war. Now, I'm not really going to be showing you the website, so you're just going to have to listen to my voice. The cat is looking at me from across the table, which is, of course, her way of saying, please tell me nothing. Oh, and there she goes. Now, let's start off with war. You should always try to avoid a war with someone you know you have no chance of winning against. Say you're a 10,000 point tribe, then I'd say anywhere, if they're above 50,000 points, I wouldn't declare war on them unless you have backup allies and stuff like that. Because basically, basing it on points, you should have 2 troops to every 1 point you have. I taught you this in an earlier thing, or I mentioned it in one of the earlier episodes. So you don't really want to be fighting someone that you know you have a huge disadvantage against. But step 1, if they've forced you behind a wall, they're nobling your villages, they're attacking your allies, and you wish to go to war, here's a couple of steps to give you an advantage over your enemies. Number 1, gather intelligence. This is the first and crucial step. Gather intelligence. Now you can do this in. There's a couple of different things that you need to know. You need to work out. You need to work out their troops, so troop numbers, which obviously is gathered by scouts or spies. Spies are obviously referring to people inside the enemy tribe which are friends to you. I don't like spies, they're untrustworthy, I don't really want to go into that. Now, obviously, one of the other things that you need to know is how active their tribe is. Work out when they're offline and stuff like that. You can do this by www.TribalWarsMap.com, something like that. If you search TribalWars map on Google, you should find it. It might be .net, it might be .com, it might be .co.uk. I don't know. I'm not sure. Find what world you're on and try to work out. Also, you need to work out where they are strongest. Now, this means you have to work out where the highest concentration of their villages are. Because basically, if they're in a huge cluster and they own most of the villages in a continent, it makes it very difficult because they are fortified. They will, hopefully, if they're smart, they will fortify all the villages across a front line, holding off any attack, because basically you wouldn't want to noble a village inside the middle of enemy territory. So it's a good strategy to hold off the enemies at bay by stacking villages at the front. Now, once you've gathered all the intelligence that you need, obviously you can gather other stuff as well, but troops number, whether they're active and where they're strongest is, I think, the 3 most important things. Then you need to start setting up teams and operations. Now, I'm writing this down, to help you out, in case, to give you something to watch, I suppose, because obviously this is basically just audio with a bit of text on it. But obviously, if you listen to the advice that I give you, this will help you and you will be able to do it. Now, setting up teams and operations. It's always a good idea not to concentrate heavily on one person, because basically, by the time you've done any damage to him, they would have already supported him, stacked him, and preparing the counter-attack. Now, I'll get further onto the counter-attack aspect in a bit, but I would recommend that you have 2 teams. Attack and defend. Now, if you split it into 2 teams like this, obviously you can have sub-teams, so the attacking team attacks, it can be split into 2, so you could have 2 attacking teams that attack 2 different people, who attack 4 different people, who attack 6 different people. But this is what you need to work out. You also need, gather intelligence also on your own troops as well. That's one of the things I forgot. You don't just need you don't just need stuff on this and stuff like that. You need also your own troop numbers to work out who's got the nukes, who's got 6,000 spears and 2,000 swordsmen, who's got 20,000 scouts, who's got 16,000 axemen. That's what you've got to work out. Obviously, I was just making up those numbers, so they're not references. But the attacking team is the one that's got to punch through your enemy's defense and take villages from the outside to the inside. Now, once the attacking team has nobled a village, it's always a good idea if you send a defense force to defend the village in case of a counterattack. A counterattack will most likely come from a troop from an enemy ally who's close by, or an enemy tribe member who's close by and takes the village back. So obviously you've got to defend that village now that you've taken it. You've went to the hard effort of capturing it. You don't want to give it away that easily, do you? So always make sure that you've got some sort of defense there. Even if it's just, 200 spears and 200 swordsmen. Because basically what they think is that you don't have the strength, because obviously you've still got a couple of your troops that are left from your attack, but that's most likely like 200 axemen and 100 light cavalry. So they're sending a heavy attack to try to take it back. Now, obviously, if they're smart, they'd most likely send a nuke, which means you might lose it. But hopefully, half the time, they only send small attacks because they think you don't have the troops to defend against that attack. Now, third step is constant fakes. You have to make sure that you're constantly spamming them 24/7 and never let up on the fakes. Constantly plow different locations, different things. Don't let them work out where you are going to attack next. If they can work out where you're attacking next, that's it. Stuff like that. So constant fakes 24/7. That is, I wouldn't say that's step 3. That's kind of like 2.5. You should be doing this as well. You should be doing a faking operation and stuff like that. I'll just put that. That's not really step number 3. That's step number 2. Now, you also, as well as working out how to attack, you also need to work out where their counterattack is going to come from. So prepare for counterattack. Now, if an enemy's smart, they'll hit your leaders or the people who are the highest point, who are close by and have the highest amount of points, because they think if they hit the strongest person in your tribe, your whole tribe's going to collapse. But if you defend and are able to hold off their counterattacks whilst you're attacking at the same time, that gives you a huge advantage. Delay, you best not be clawing that sofa. Delay. Sorry, the cat was clawing the sofa, and I've been given specific orders that if she does that, I have to shout at her, because she's a naughty kitty. Now, preparing for a counterattack is very easy. You should be, once you've gathered your intelligence, everything gets easier from this step on. Now, obviously, once you prepare for a counterattack, obviously you need to start nobling and destroying them. That is the last and final step. Once you defend against attacks and they are starting to lose momentum, then that's when you go in hard and you hit them. You hit them hard. Now, a good way to also cripple an enemy is also to hit them fast and without warning. Because they could have a spy in your tribe as well. Because big tribes are always like this, oh, we'll give you protection if you offer us information on who they're going to attack next. So you have to make sure that your tribe's loyal. You have to make sure that you have the skills and the strength to win the war. Don't start a war you're not going to win. Because that's going to force everyone in your tribe to restart, which pisses some people off. Now, obviously, I've lost my shares of wars. I've also won a lot of wars as well. This is why I'm telling you this, is because I was, in TribalWars you also have your leaders, your diplomats, your recruiter. I was a war general. That was my main aim. I was meant to come up with these things, come up with the plans, come up with how to attack, and stuff like that. Now, what I would also say, this is for the, is to make sure your allies know as little as possible. Obviously, if the ally is one of your friends and you trust him 100%, and you can tell him, but you have to be careful with allies because you don't know who they're allied with. They can say, "Oh, we're not allied with this guy," when in fact they're currently talking to that guy, saying, oh, "Hey, look, this guy's going to attack you. Could we get an alliance if we help you out?" And they'll go, "Yeah, sure. If you destroy this shit." Because basically, that's what happens with little tribes. The big tribes will use you like pawns and you'll be destroyed before you have a chance, or they'll betray you, which is always nice. I love a bit of betrayal. Basically, this game is just basically Game of Thrones. Oh, and I've got that high pitch. You know that high pitched whistle that you get in your ear? I just got that. Ah, bitch. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Hold on. Now, where did I get to? Yeah, once you've been destroyed, you have won your first, or maybe you have won your war. But I also want to talk about intelligence gathering. A couple of tricks that you can use. So, faking, obviously, in the intelligence age is a good idea as well, but not the kind of faking that you think. If you send 1 spear and 500 scouts, then they will most likely pull their troops out because it will look like an attack. Obviously, you can do this with a variation, you know, depending on what world you are, you know. If you're a super strong person, you can obviously do it with cats, swords, whatever you've got. As long as you send 1 to slow down the scouts, so that it sparks something in the head that goes, oh shit, I'm under attack. I've got to get all my troops out. But obviously scouts, depending on what world you are, I think some worlds don't do this, but if troops are outside the village, you can still spot them, which is obviously a helpful feature. Now, you might not think that activity is one of the main things that you would look for. You would obviously think, oh, troop numbers are what it's all about. It's not. You need to know what your enemy is. You need to know what they're doing. You need to know everything about your enemy. You need to literally be your enemy. You need to work out where their weakness is. Now, some tribes' weakness is a lot harder to see than others, but there's always a weakness. There's always one that... I think you probably heard this saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If you find that weakest link, break it, snap the chain, you will win. Now, I'm not going to say that warring is easy on TribalWars. It is very difficult. You have to be prepared to lose some stuff to be able to win some stuff. Obviously, you wouldn't like some of your tribesmen to be totally destroyed, but you know it happens. You know, you have to be prepared for loss in war before you can gain anything. Now, you have to be a war can be long-winded. You have to try to end it quickly. The longer it goes on, the more chance there are that they're going to get their allies in, they're going to get stuff like that. Now, if you're able to, if you can gather the intelligence within, I would say 48 hours, then then quickly setting up step 2 in 72 hours, and then obviously attacking them within a week, you've got a good chance of winning. It depends how organised you are as a person. If you're one of the people who can organise stuff, you know, write down things, work out where everything is, you are a good leader. I wasn't that good. I was able to find a weakness in a tribe and be able to use diplomacy or sheer power to overpower my enemies. But I wasn't organised. I didn't use stuff like TribalWars.com to work out if they were inactive or not. I didn't use that stuff because basically, I think, no offense, I'm not saying it's proper cheating, but it seems a bit cheap to me. You have to use the scouts that are given in game. If you really can't work out where the enemy weakness is, unless you use that program, you've got no chance of winning a world. I'm sorry, but you don't. If you rely on tools like that to win, you can't win. You have to use your gut. You have to go with your instincts. You can't be reliant on tools that may not be available or that may be down for server maintenance. If you can't plan an attack with that, that's one of the other things. On TribalWars.com, it also tells you stuff like that. Now, also what I want to say is preparing for a war is also have a I forgot this, an attack time. So basically, you tell all your people to attack at this date. So you tell them to attack at this date at this time. Why do I get hold shift for whatever retarded reason? Yeah. So if you give a specific time of when to attack and you are able to coordinate it at that time, they have no chance. It's literally impossible. Of course, you do get people who are able to snipe within milliseconds, but that's because they use scripting. They use coding to help them out. They use a computer's mind to do that. They don't do that themselves. It's too complicated. So that's also another thing that I really think needs to be changed, because you can't do that stuff on Chrome and stuff like that. I think it's just Opera and Firefox. But if you're really that cheap and you can't do it yourself, you can't defend stuff like that, then I know it's helpful, and you probably come in the top 10, but you've just cheated your way into there. What's the fun in that? You should be able to do it without using your computer to do it for you. It's basically the same as using a bot. You might as well just program it to do it for you. That's it. I'm just irritated with people who use it. Now, what I want to say with teams and operations is that you have to make sure that the teams are small and they know what they're doing at all times. If one team fails to do something, you've lost. Obviously, I'll keep going over these steps. Now, step 3 is not necessarily going to happen, the counter-attack, because some tribes build purely defensively and have no attacking power whatsoever and rely on allies and stuff like that. That's another thing that I would say. I would also say for the intelligence gathering, work out who their allies are. Allies, and also their enemies. If you can work out where their enemies are and offer them something that they want. Oh, I'll destroy these guys if you become our allies. That's always a good way to win an alliance. Well, I'll destroy these guys for you. We'd be allies. If not, we'll destroy you. And also, I have to say one of the great things now that TribalWars added in recently was the war stats. And war stats help out a lot. They can see that your tribe is actually doing some damage. Now, if someone's, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry about this, but who was with me when I was in Sweet Sun World? What was it 49, I think, or 49? You would know that we had a good fight against Spark. I think it was Spark, something like that. And then also we had the war with Quack. Obviously, our allies did most of the damage in that fight because Sweets was undergoing issues. But that's enough about what I'm doing. So hopefully you follow these steps. You can obviously add in your own steps. You can work it out for yourself. But these are the main steps that you have to prepare yourself for and understand. If you can't understand these basic concepts of how to win TribalWars, then well, I can't really help you out anymore. That's as easy as I can put it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like. I'm MajorSmurf. I do a lot of tutorial stuff like this. I'm currently doing an Open RAR series. If you enjoy free-to-play games, Open RAR is available. But hopefully I've helped you out. And if there's anything you want to add, maybe suggest something that you want me to do, feel free. I am mainly focusing on free-to-play games now. I don't have a lot of money, because I am only 18, I don't have a job. I'm currently at college, so basically I only do these videos for fun. I don't make a profit out of this, because I haven't signed up for a YouTube partnership, because I don't see the point. I don't make enough views, I don't make enough subscribers. There's literally no point in me doing it. Until I get, I'd say, 100 subscribers, I'm unlikely to sign up for a YouTube partnership. I would love to be with Machinima and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do it. Right, I've wasted enough of your time. I don't know how long this video has gone on for. I really hope it hasn't gone over 20 minutes, but most likely it has. I've been talking for that long. My throat's hurting, my head's hurting, my penis is hurting for whatever reason. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please leave a like and subscribe if you would enjoy more. Leave a comment as well. I won't be able to know your views unless you leave a comment. How am I meant to? I'm not fucking psychic. Give me a break and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. I'm MajorSmurf, and I've said that twice, but good night, or good morning, or good afternoon.